A few years ago, I installed the 2022-2023, I forgot what year, Kraken 360 AIO. Now I have myself the brand new 420 AIO, which will fit a lot better in the top part of my case. Much like that first video where I did the 360, I'm gonna just show the unboxing and the installation. Let me show you my build. So here's my build as it is right now. I have the 4090 Strix White Edition, I have the Z790 Maximus Formula, and the 360 Kraken is right there on top. That is where the 420 is gonna go. I've just had these like little barriers preventing airflow, but the 420 will just work now. All my fans are fractal, 4 120s in the back, 3 140s on the bottom, and 2 140s on this backside. Corsair Dominator Platinum, I believe, RAM, and I have an AverMedia capture card that's underneath the graphics card. Fantex NV9 case. The fans are currently oriented as positive pressure. Everything is intake except for these back to our exhaust, and I'll probably do the same thing with the 420 where that will also be intake. I prefer positive pressure, especially in an environment where there are pets and a lot of dust. Here it is, the 420 RGB. It was actually insanely hard to find this. I originally saw it at Micro Center a few months ago before it was even available, and then tried to get it on Best Buy, and then they went a roundabout way to tell me it's not available, and then we were passing through the Chicago Micro Center. Thank you to those guys for actually having them. So I did already open it, but I basically just looked at it. It's a lot of the same stuff. The only real significant difference between the AIO I currently have and any 360 or the 420 that you get today is you now get one of these cables, which basically acts as the controller. Comes with everything you need. You got the fan connections that'll be what the fans connect to. There's no box, there's no controller. This is all there is. That's for the fans, SATA power, USB, and then your actual fan header or fan connector that'll go onto your CPU header on your motherboard. And then this big old guy plugs into the actual radiator, which is quite impressive. I think this is probably my favorite AIO that I've seen on the market with how streamlined it is. So here is the fans, and it is essentially, I don't know what the technical term is, I think Lian Lee calls it Unifan, but basically a Unifan, 3 140s all in sequence. You got an LED strip on this side and this side, which is really neat. And here's that fan connector that connects into that cable that goes into the radiator, and that's all there is. Like that, this is all you have for cables, which is a builder's dream. And they come with a bag with other mounting accessories. Got the Intel kit, so have to use that, obviously. I have an Intel LG 1700. Some other screws that we will figure out how many of them will be useful. There's AMD, so if you have an AMD build, you'll still be able to use this. Now let's get to the actual meat and potatoes here. So there is the nice, very large, what would I say, like 2.5-inch LCD screen. Probably will still put thermal paste on here, but it is a much bigger surface area. It's where you almost wouldn't need to, but it's generally good to just to be safe. And then you have the radiator. Let's take the radiator out. This thing's pretty large, as you would expect from a 420. So there it is, the giant radiator, and then the fans. Ooh, you're caught. I could put it on this side, put it on the other side. I feel like this side will look cleaner because it's flush. It's actually perfectly flush with this, which is pretty neat. And if I recall correctly, I actually just installed the 2024 360 in my wife's PC, and I believe this was where air goes in. So if I had this oriented like this, then this would face the top of my case. And then here's the connection for this. This just sockets straight into there. Here's a 360 view of the whole thing. I sometimes forget how big it is when it's just sitting on my desk in the corner. Very dusty. I think this is a good opportunity to also clean. For the Fantex NV9, it's actually really cool the way everything connects. You take off the top, which is just some thumb screws. My bowl! There you go. Don't ask where these screws came from. I have no idea. Anyway, as I was doing, undo those thumb screws, and then you pull. And doing that basically gives you access to everything else, because now I can thumb screw this, thumb screw down here. There we go. They're all captive, which is nice. And you got the humongous tempered glass. Put that somewhere where it won't shatter. The one thing that does suck with everything being like virtually toolless is there actually is one panel that is tooled. To take the front panel off, you do actually need a Phillips screwdriver. In the bowl you go. It's screwed in on the bottom. It's been a while since I took this apart, so I'm going to have to remind myself. So then all that's left is the back, which I'm not happy that I did not put. I don't know how I didn't put this on right.
This is also tooled, 2 screwdrivers, or 2 screws on top. Took the 2 screws on the top off. That pops off. Hopefully this didn't get warped or anything. I actually kind of forgot how my cabling job was back here. A little bit of jank, but ultimately everything does work nicely. Yeah, so this whole guy here will no longer need to exist. And all these, so actually the most janky part about this whole thing is vanishing, which is nice. The rest of this is just massive RGB and fan headers. So realistically, this should be a direct replace. No additional cables should be needed. It's just going to be basically downsizing. I do want to clean it all completely. I'll just be wiping some of this down. Producer, what are you doing behind the camera? That's not very nice. Producer's leaving. So this is a blower fan that I've had a while. I'm pretty sure I had it in my last video too. Whoa. Super convenient, very powerful. Does the job. Make sure whenever you're blowing your fans, don't let them spin like crazy. That's how you burn out the motors. So like just stick your finger in and then blow. Producer has returned. The only thing is this, oh god, yeah, this needs to get wiped down. First things first, let's do the part that I'm looking forward to the least, and that's unplugging this, because they do not make it easy to do so. I made that look really easy. I might want to take off this guy. Just a LED strip that's part of the NV9. That's there, and then there's another one here. It's pretty cool. The old AIO was still plugged into the fan header. That's going to be the same thing with this one as well. So that's coming out through here, which is perfectly obscured to make this a headache. Is this part of what I'm taking apart? No, you're unrelated. I don't actually know what you are, but you just exist here apparently. Ah, yes, you're what I'm looking for. You are the droids I'm looking for. So that was connected into USB directly in my motherboard. That is sad, because now getting the new one plugged in is going to be fun. Not really. Okay. Oh man, this USB was connected directly to my motherboard, so that was not fun to fish through. Oh, did this need 2 USB? This AIO is very USB intensive. I forgot. It needed 2 USB slots. Ports, I guess is probably a better way to put it. Oh yeah, that's right. The actual pump needed one, and the controller needed one. Oh yeah, the AIO needed SATA power, and the controller needed SATA power. So big downsizing. This whole mess just goes away, as well as now all of these fan cables. So yeah, this is exciting. This is really exciting. A real downsize. Oh god. This is a lot. What was that? What are you doing, producer? That's still not very nice. So these are all spaghetti-fied. I only used 4 screws. I didn't think anything more was necessary. So now hopefully the cables just kind of follow suit. They are not playing nice. What are you stuck on? Why you do this? Now you get to see a little bit of producer. These little hooks like to act like grappling hooks. I call them grappling hooks because that's literally what they are. Where the heck did you go? Yeah, the best way to do this may end up being like just slide the power supply a little bit so we can see where this thing. It's probably just barely caught. Screw lady, aka producer. Grappling hook. All right, so the AIO is out. Okay. Fun fact: this AIO is actually going to Tyler's computer, so maybe he will do a build video of him installing this in his computer. So all that's left with the uninstall is take the pump off. And it also just occurred to me I'm probably going to have to take my motherboard off in order to get the backplate on the 420 on. Yikes. I also might uninstall a couple of sticks of RAM because the pump of the 420 is going to be way bigger than this, so there's just not going to be room to maneuver. So I guess you guys are kind of seeing a teardown. It's Dominator Titanium. I misspoke earlier. Hallelujah. My case is awesome. I will not need to take my motherboard off. I'm not feeling any more love from you doing that. Yeah, so if any of you are thinking about what case you want to get, if you're planning on getting an AIO, or honestly, no, the same thing applies to air coolers. Try to get yourself a case. Like, I guess one requirement make for yourself for convenience is a case where you can access this whole area of your motherboard. Because with my wife's computer, I had to basically take the motherboard off just to get that backplate off, which was just a headache, not super convenient. So the 360 is officially completely off. Now we get to start on why you guys clicked on this video, and that is putting the 420 on. So Intel kit, let's open that up and make sure you have these, because these can slide I don't really know entirely why. I think it's for compatibility. I'm gonna make sure I have them go into the outer ones. All right. Well, the adhesive just helped itself, so hopefully this will be fine. Intel standoffs. There are two different standoffs based on what CPU you have. I am LGA 1700, not 1200, 115X. I wonder if that's the newer CPUs. So I'll be using these. You having fun, producer? Okay, I don't even know how to react to that anymore. That's very rude. If only you guys could see what she's doing. It's not very nice. No, that's not what she's doing. She knocked out the video. Now it's just staring at my arm doing nothing. So we got a little bit of Corsair thermal paste. Not going to use much of this at all. Just a little bit right in the middle there, I think. Just to kind of complete the coverage. Normally I would try to do the hardest one first, but I think I'm going to just do the first two easy ones. Top right, bottom left, because then top left is the one that sucks. I do just have the radiator sitting up top. It's not like actually fastened. This is why you don't want to install the radiator in this configuration first, because like getting to this screw is basically completely obscured. But it's just sitting up here, so I can at least shift that, and now I can actually kind of access it. Still a headache, but uh-oh. That appears to be a headache of a job no matter how you do it. So just evenly screwing it on diagonally, because I know people like this. Don't know if that came across. I don't understand why companies don't do what Fractal does and put arrows on the fans, in this case on here, showing which way the air goes. But I have to sort of assume that this is where the air goes. There's a little blue arrow pointing up, and that's the side of the fan that doesn't have the frame. So, same deal with the small screws. Hey, I grabbed 4. And 4 washers. I'm a wizard. I just dumped them into my hand, and that was exactly what I needed. Unfortunately, my bowl is busy, so I'm going to have these screws over here. Oh, but I had them organized in a certain way. You messed up my bowl. Man, that is a lot of tension. It'll work, but it's really tugging on that. Oh, man. If I went this way. Yeah, it's not in the way of my RAM either. It's not in the way of anything, really. So this is actually perfect. I can actually line it up to completely cover the space. The radiator is now suspended. I like how the camera is not seeing any of this. We can raise it up. Oh. Nothing really super exciting, just attaching the radiator to the case using the small screws. Yeah, you always want to make sure you use a washer, because the screws are often not that much wider than the actual space, and the washer makes it have even tension on the rail. And also don't over torque it, because it'll be a nightmare to untorque or unscrew, and you'll also damage your paint. That's more of an aesthetics thing, but there's no reason to over tighten it anyway. The primary cable for this is going to plug in up here. So much like how I had the 360, everything's going to be on the back side on that side. That's basically how this is going to be. The long screws through the fan into the radiator. So unfortunately the cable is on this side. It would have been nice if it were on the back side. I would rather have to run this like this than have it run here or from here all the way across. So I still think this is the cleanest option. So RAM's back in. Fan and radiator are both attached. So now for the actual connector here, just simply socket this into here. It does require a little bit of force, but it's in. And then I'll probably route this probably through here. I don't really want to go above the power supply because we saw how much of a nightmare that was with the other fans. Grappling hook. I'll wrap this around that. It's all white, so it'll blend in. This always sucks, for the record. I love the NV9, but oh, that actually wasn't that much of a headache. Producer sitting on floor. Can get cut out. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. So what do we have here? We have our USB, we have our SATA power, we have our fan. And actually, since I ran them both together, this can literally just plug in like so. So let's connect the SATA power. Ooh, you can actually follow this channel. And then this will just kind of... Ooh, it worked out perfectly. There we go. This part's going to suck. This is the USB. Probably actually just route this down here. Oh my god, I did it perfect. That was lucky. So the thing that was going to be a headache was not a headache whatsoever. So all that's left is this headache, and that is CPU fan. We're good for the back here. I think everything here is solid. All that's left is to actually connect this fan header, just like that. Fan header is connected. You can shove that back through a tiny bit. And there it is. That is the 420 AIO. So I guess I'll put it back on its spot and show you guys the finished product. Everything should be plugged in, but it at least is plugged into power, so it's good enough to hit this button. I do have signal RGB running. Oh, so you can see the lights are working. So as you can see, all the lights on the fans are working. The AIO's lights are working. I do use signal RGB, which, if you're unaware, is a piece of software that'll link up all your RGB devices so that it's all consistent. That's why my other fans aren't working. It usually kicks in after a second or so. That basically is the whole build. The AIO is working. I don't even need to rotate the LCD screen because it's actually in its native orientation. I hope this was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed. And that'll be it for this one.